What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Final Whistle podcast. It's been a couple of weeks. Nate, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. It's definitely been a while since we've done one of these. It's probably been too long since we've done one of these. But just a lot of stuff's been happening, and haven't been able to get one done. I went on my honeymoon like 3 days after Iowa State lost to Tennessee for a week, so that didn't help. And then like the week after that was just crazy busy, after you get back and everything. So we finally have a little time to do a podcast now. So it's definitely been a long time, but that gives us a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, it does. It has been a while. Been super busy. You went on your honeymoon. I was a little lonely without you.
Yeah.
But we're back. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. Starting off with just kind of recapping the basketball season, I'd say. Iowa State lost to Tennessee. What were your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean it's tough to go back and really think about that game, but just like that was the ultimate game where like size really got, the best of Iowa State in that game. And just it finally came to a head with the free throws. Like that finally became like a major issue. And Iowa State was ranked in the bottom half of the country all season in free throws. And so it just finally caught up with them that, that free throw percentage, you kind of are what you are at that point, when you're at the end of the year. There is no fixing it at that point. And so it just, that finally caught up with them, and just a lot of the size issues. If you have Jefferson, I think that Iowa State puts up a much better fight. I don't necessarily know if Iowa State maybe wins that game with Jefferson just based on like the night that we had, like just in general with everybody else, the way they were shooting, just the way everything was going that night. I don't know, if we do have Jefferson, what that looks like, but you would have to think that it gives you a much better shot to win that game having Jefferson in that game. So it was just, it was a culmination of a lot, and Iowa State got beat, but I can tell you what, the way that Michigan looked after that and finished out the year, I don't really think we wanted much of Michigan either.
Yeah, I agree. I think we played as best as we could that game. I think it was just kind of fatigue and size difference. They played very physical. Tennessee played very physical. We didn't make a lot of shots that we took, and yeah, it was just not a great day for us. But like you said, if we would have won that and went and played Michigan, I wouldn't have liked how that looked, because Michigan turned it up in the tournament, and they won it all. A little bit of a surprise, honestly. I didn't think they were going to get past Arizona, but Arizona played probably their worst basketball game of the season, and they played at the wrong time. And it bit them, and Arizona lost, and then it was Michigan and UConn, and I thought UConn had a strong chance in that, and they got close a couple of times, but Michigan just seemed in control that entire game.
Yeah, and going back to like the Arizona thing, like that really sucked for the Big 12 just in general, because you say you're the best basketball conference all year long in college basketball, and I think it's true. I still think that's true. I think Iowa State, at the top, was good, maybe not as good as maybe the Big 10 was at the very top, but like as far as like the middle of the Big 12, and kind of towards the bottom of the Big 12, I think, stacked up very well against other conferences all season. But it was just, I think it was a way that Arizona lost just to get mollywopped in, your final game. And it just goes to show that like so much is on like the month of March. Like it all depends. Like the rest of the season, theoretically really doesn't matter what you do, as long as like all that matters is March. That's all that matters is how you do in March, and you can forget about the rest. And there's two classic examples. The Arizona game. You play really good all season. You win the Big 12 tournament. and then you have a game like that, and now your season's remembered as not very memorable because they didn't they didn't really do anything fantastic. And then on the flip side, a team that doesn't really do much throughout the whole season, struggles, doesn't really have any big wins, but goes on a run in March is a team like Iowa, And now all of a sudden, their season is remembered as this great season of 2026, and really the season wasn't that good of a season. They really struggled, didn't really have any signature wins, but just a run to the Elite Eight in March can change that whole thing so fast. So, I mean, there's a lot that like ride or dies on March with how your whole basketball season was. Iowa State season, I would still say, was very successful throughout the season. Iowa State had a lot of good wins, ranked inside the top 10 all season long. And so I think that there's things like that you have to take away from the season as a whole that I don't think should be forgotten. But yeah, I mean, it was disappointing to see Arizona lose that game, but like Michigan, they really hit their stride at the right time, and that's really what like matters. And Michigan was just so damn big and so fast and so physical and so tough. And a lot of the things that a lot of people said about Arizona: big, physical, tough, and just Michigan was able to do it better on that night. And so, I mean, and then it led to the UConn game and the national title game. And I mean, I don't know. I thought that game was pretty good. Michigan shot absolutely horrible in that game. Both teams really did. Neither team really played fantastic, but it was a good game. And you can never count out Dan Hurley in those games. He's been there. He's won 2 or 3 in the last how many years? I think 2 in the last like 4 years. So you can't ever count him out. So yeah, I mean, good run by Michigan, and it just really goes to show like the transfer thing can really change a team like really fast.
Absolutely. So, it was a crazy end to the basketball season. Kind of sad that it's already over, but I mean, few more months and football will be starting. So
yeah, we're starting to hear some more from spring football already. So I mean, like the nice thing this offseason will be is like Iowa State's rebuilding a whole new football team. So like you'd be able to kind of keep somewhat interested in that, see what kind of storylines come out of that.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's already been moves in the transfer portal for Iowa State for basketball. Milan Momcilovic, if you don't know already, has he entered his name in the transfer portal. However, he plans on going through with the draft combine, seeing how he does in that, and potentially entering the NBA draft.
And I can explain that for like people that don't understand like what happened with the Milan thing is. So this is what happens, and it's not Iowa State's fault, and it's not Milan's fault. It's the calendar's fault. That this is the way that this has to happen. So Milan wants to get feedback and go through the NBA. Basically, we'll start from the very beginning. Milan says, "Hey, I would like to get feedback from NBA scouts and NBA teams and see like what I need to work on going into next year." All right. Iowa State says, "Awesome, sure, yes, do that." So he declares for the NBA draft. You have to declare for the NBA draft to get NBA, scouting opinions, like real opinions, real, feedback. So he does that. And the thought, originally was, he's going to go get his feedback, come back to Iowa State. He's going to learn what he has to work on this year. Well, the more that Milan's people looked into this thing is Milan was the best shooter in the country this year. And that's not an opinion, that's a fact. He shot the ball 49% from 3. That's never been done in college basketball. It's a college basketball record. Do you think Milan can do that again next year? Or do you think Milan can beat that next year?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he had a sensational year, but I think with how our team is going to be built this next year, I just don't see it. Would he play great? I think so, but I just don't think he would have had the record-breaking year like he has this year.
Right, and so if you don't think you're going to shoot the ball as well next year as you did this year, just like statistically speaking, like it's really hard to do. That's really hard. Like, can you break your own NCAA record next year? Like, that's really hard stuff. So if this is the best you're ever going to shoot in college basketball, this might be the highest your ceiling's ever going to be. So why not try to go through the whole process and see if you can get drafted this year? And that's what they're thinking, and you know, Milan's people are thinking in his camp, is this might be like our biggest year to get drafted. You really don't want to come back to college basketball next year, have a terrible shooting year, and you're like, man, I should have left last year. You know, even if I was a late first, early second round pick, maybe now the year after that, maybe you're not even looking at getting drafted. So Milan then decided that he wanted to go through the whole draft process, okay? The whole draft process can go all the way into May, all right? And this is where I'm getting with the calendar thing. So on Iowa State's side, the NCAA, the portal is only open for 2 weeks right now, okay? So basically those 2 weeks are for any player to get in to the transfer portal. That's basically what that's for. It gives you a little bit of time so coach can have meetings with the players, you know, one-on-one conversation with the players, you know, let them know, hey, this is where I see you next year. I think you should come back. I don't think you should come back, yada, yada, yada. And so that only gives you 2 weeks, all right? Now, Milan wants to go through this whole process. Well, that's going to take a lot longer than 2 weeks, okay? And Iowa State got burned on this 3 or 4 years ago because A.J. Green was coming from UNI, and he was going to go to Iowa State. It was like penciled in, like he had already done like his visit, everything. It was going to happen. But A.J. Green wanted the same thing. A.J. Green wanted to get feedback, go through the draft process, and see, you know, what he needed to work on, all that stuff. And TJ was the head coach at the time, and TJ, those guys said, yep, that's fine. We will save let's just say, for instance, $2.5 million that we're going to pay you. We'll save that till May, and we will, you know, pay you that then because the transfer portal closes. It's open for 2 weeks, and it closes, opens back up in May. All right? And they were like, all right, we'll pay this $2.5 million in May. Okay, AJ Green then goes, gets all of his stuff, and basically they were telling AJ, like at the start, is they were like, yeah, you know, you're really good, but we'd like to see you do it at the next level against bigger, faster, stronger players. And so he went to the combine, and they were like, yeah, never mind, you don't need that anymore. Someone's going to draft you this year. You're good enough to go to the NBA now. And he left and went to the NBA, and Iowa State got left sitting there with $2.5 million that they didn't use on their roster. And by the time that time comes around in May, all the good players are gone. Like most of all the good players are gone. They've already committed to schools. There's very select few left. Any of the few that are left that are good players are going to teams that have huge budgets. Like your $2.5 million, they're going to offer him 4 or 5. It's rare that it's going to happen anyway, that you're going to get that player in May. And that really hurt Iowa State that year. That year was the Oshuni year and the Jaron Holmes year. And it really would have helped Iowa State to have a shooter that year on that team. That was the year that Iowa State went to the round of 64, went to the tournament and got blown out by Pitt in the first round, completely blown out. So you really could have used AJ Green there, and I think TJ learned that, you know, right then and there that you can't do that again. And so with Milan, it is okay. He wants $2.5-3 million, and for what it's worth, if Milan's people, you know, and Milan could give TJ a for sure answer that, hey, we're all in on coming back at Iowa State next year, he would be a Cyclone. He would be at Iowa State next year. It's not he's going to chase the money. It's not him and TJ had problems. It's none of that. If he wanted to be a Cyclone, if he could give TJ that 100% commitment, they would pay him whatever they would have to, he would be a Cyclone next year. But that's not the case. He wants to try to see what he's worth in the NBA. So now, like I said, if he goes to the NBA, you know, goes through or whatever, doesn't get the response that he wants, let's say they tell Milan, hey, you know, we'd like to see you do 1 more year in college because you need to get better at these things. All right. Then he's going to have to come back to college. All right. So that's why he entered his name in the transfer portal, because that gives him his option to come back to college. If he doesn't enter the transfer portal and doesn't get drafted, well, now he's a free agent and has to go try to work to get on a G League team, you know, or go overseas, you know, or wherever. He can't come back to college basketball. So yes, his intent is to go into the NBA, but he has to enter the transfer portal because of the fact that he might not get the response he wants or might not get drafted. So basically, if you're an Iowa State fan, just really hope that Milan Momcilovic gets drafted and you won't have to see him in another college basketball uniform next year.
Yeah, that's good explanation, Nate. Thank you for clearing that up for if people didn't know that, Yeah, so he's in the transfer portal. Iowa State, I believe we got 5 transfers in.
5 for 5.
5 for 5. That's great.
That's like the first time Iowa State's ever done that.
Great
Like,
job.
that's
from
really
TJ.
hard to do.
Great job from TJ and his
And
staff.
trying to replace 2 assistant coaches.
Yeah.
Kyle Green goes to UNI, and J.R. Blount goes to San Diego. So, like, trying to replace two assistant coaches and basically get almost a whole new basketball roster is kind of crazy.
Yeah, and that happens when you win. You have assistant coaches and stuff who get bigger and better job offers. They want to go be head coaches themselves. Obviously, that's the whole goal for them, and that happens when you win games and do well. That's just
Yeah, and it looks really good for TJ too.
exactly. It's great for them, and I like the pieces that we picked up. Got a couple of decent shooters. Got a little bit of size, not a ton. Got some bigger guards.
Got really good free throw shooters.
Really good free throw shooters.
They're all 75% or higher. Every guy we brought in, his minimum free throw percent was 75%.
That's amazing for Iowa State.
That is.
We are not a very good free
Hopefully
throw
that can
shooting team.
translate. Like, TJ's teams have always been not good free throw shooting
Well, we'll
teams.
see, because Dominic Nelson was the leading free throw leader last year, and he came on to Iowa State, and he missed a lot of free throws.
Yeah. Yeah, Nelson was like one of the best free throw shooters in the country, and then he comes to Iowa State and, just doesn't do that anymore either. But, no, Iowa State got a really versatile 5 players.
Yeah, a lot of athleticism.
Yeah, got, a few guards, a few forwards in there, but, like a really versatile group. And so, like, one of them is Jaquan Johnson. He's 5'11" is what he's listed at, but some places have him listed at like 5'10". He's probably closer to that 5'10" range. Not a very tall guy. And we've seen tall guys struggle in the Big 12, but we've also seen some, shorter guys really thrive in the Big 12. And, I don't know if he's going to have to be much of a scorer, but, like, that guy is just a menace on defense. Like, he is just going to make opposing guards hate their life night in and night out. And that's what he's all about. He was the Missouri Valley Defensive Player of the Year. And he's just, like, he's really good. He likes to steal the ball. He's a really good on-ball defender. You always have to watch where he's at because he'll just pick your pocket. And he's not that big, but he'll be a good add. And then another one that we got was Ryan Prather Jr., the guard out of Robert Morris. He's 6'5", not a great athlete, but a really good three-point shooter. I would assume that's going to be more of his role is like the catch and shoot role. I would say that'll be more of like his thing. Also, really good defender and a good free throw shooter. So I just, if you're kind of looking for that Milan-ish player, that you can bring in and maybe try to, plug into Milan's role, I would say he would be a good one. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's the next Milan, or oh, that's the next Joshua Jefferson, oh, that's the next Taman Lipsey. Well, the thing is like, there's not going to be another Milan. Like, he just broke an NCAA record.
Yeah.
Like the odds of that happening are very slim. Now, you could try to get close to what you had out of Milan, but you're not going to replace Milan Momcilovic.
No.
Joshua Jefferson was a top 5 player in college basketball this year. He was an All-American. You're not just going to replace Joshua Jefferson. You're not just going to do that. And then Taman Lipsey, the 4-year player, who everyone loves, you're also just not going to replace him either. But I think good pieces to, bring in. There's 2 that people are, like, really intrigued with, and it's Trey Singleton out of Northwestern. They kind of say, like, he's, if any of these guys are going to go to the NBA, he's probably, like, your top pick for like an NBA. He was a freshman at Northwestern this year. He averaged like 7 points a game, and just a really raw product, but like really athletic, super athletic, 6'8", I think. And, you know, he can shoot the three. He doesn't do it a lot, but he can. He's shown ability. He can step out there and do it. He's also, I think he is a 75% free throw shooter. So usually for a big man, if, you know, his free throw shooting percentage is 75%, that's usually a good inclination that he can get the 3-point shot, you know, down.
Yeah.
You know, he can work on that. He can get there. And, but just a really physical dude, just, you know, really athletic. And honestly, like a lot of them are saying like a young Joshua Jefferson. And really good court vision for a forward. You know, he can really look all over the floor. He can lead the fast break, even though I didn't really love when Jefferson would do that sometimes. But he can. And so, yeah, people are really excited about him. He'll come in as a sophomore. Like, you should have a lot of, you know, good things to come out of him. He's youthful. So, and then the other one, guys, people are really excited about is Leon Bond. He actually started at Virginia with Tony Bennett, and then went to UNI. And I guess the reason he kind of found his way to UNI from Virginia was like he has everything. He is super athletic. He can dunk the shit out of the ball. He can shoot threes. Like he can do it all. The problem with him has been it's a if he wants to thing. That's where the knock on him has been is, you know, sometimes he's running with half his motor on. You know, but if you get that guy to do it all the time, you know, he could be like he can very well go to the NBA.
Yeah.
If he can just, you know, go as hard as he can all the time, he'll be really good because the guy flashes. Like when he wants to, he is really good.
If he can get that fire under him.
Yes, you see the player that got recruited by Tony Bennett at Virginia. You know, that player comes out of him when you see that. And so I think that, and he knows that. I think he's gotten feedback on that. And so what better way than, like, if you need to work on, you know, your motor and playing hard than to go play for TJ Altenberger.
Yeah.
Like, what a way to prove people that you can do it than go work for one of the coaches that's going to work you the hardest to play your hardest in college basketball.
Bring the best out of you.
Yeah. But like he has a lot of upside. He has a lot of upside. If he can turn it on all the time, like don't be surprised if he's a starter. Because like he has starter potential. He's 6'5", 230 pounds, I think, somewhere in there. But can guard 2 through 4. And he's only 6'5", but you can put him on a 6'10" guy. Just with his athleticism, he can guard him. And just he can jump out of the roof. So really excited about that guy. Hopefully TJ can get him going. I think the off-season workouts will be super important for him. And for a lot of this team, TJ always likes to get these guys in before May, June, because they need to be there for those camps, for the summer camps, because that's like when TJ really like puts you through adversity, is in the summertime. So that way when the wintertime comes, you know, you've seen this, you've done this. That's when they're out at 5 o'clock in the morning running on the soccer fields and stuff like that. And so TJ really tries to get these guys in as early as he can. Like Dominguez Plata wasn't able to make it this last summer for these summer workouts, and you can kind of see, you know, how long it took him to get to, you know, a point where he was like consistently giving you, you know, good minutes and, you know, productive minutes. And so, yeah, really good job by TJ though to get all that done in the first weekend, get all 5 guys, go 5 for 5. That was really well done.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited for everybody. I'm excited for the new freshmen coming in. It should be a pretty good class. And I love a lot of our big pieces coming back. Plata, Buchanan, Bateman, Torrey. I'm excited to have all of them back.
Yeah, and even a surprising one, Xavier Mitchell decides he's going to stay.
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm excited. I mean, He's supposed to be really good. He didn't get a lot of playing time last year.
Well, he was Wisconsin All Mr. Basketball.
Yeah, and who knows? He could have a standout year. We don't know yet. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see and go from there. But I'm just really excited. It'll be a younger team. It'll be exciting, and
should be ranked top 25,
yeah,
top 20 next year.
Yeah, we should.
start the
I
year.
think we'll do pretty good. I don't know if we'll have as good a year this year. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you got to replace 3 starters. So anytime you have to replace 3 starters, things are kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
But hey, I put my faith in TJ. He's done this now 5 years. We've been in the Sweet 16 3 years. So
He'll have him ready.
Yeah, he doesn't really give you a reason why you shouldn't trust him. So he'll put the best players out on the floor. And, the guys that you get in your first weekend are priority guys. Those are guys that you have scouted since probably like November, December. So the fact that these guys were here this weekend and you got them all tells me that TJ wanted these guys, from the start.
Yeah.
TJ's wanted these guys for a while, for a long time. And so if TJ gets the guys that he wants on this basketball team, I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We have. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws 2 bigs out there on the starting lineup, or even just some lineups out there, because we do have Plata and Buchanan, who both played exceptional minutes this past year, and then we also have a freshman coming in who's, I believe he's 6'10" or 6'11", I can't remember, but Dorian, I can't remember his middle name, Comlan. He played with Torre in high school, and he's supposed to be really good. From what I've seen, he's very lengthy. He's a good defender, and he's attacks the basket. He's not a super great shooter from what I've seen, but I'm excited for him too. Hopefully, he plays well, and Torre and him have some kind of on-court chemistry that works in our favor.
Yeah, and it sounds like Christian Wiggins is going to be the other guy to know from this recruiting class. From what people have said, like, he will be fighting for, minutes in this roster. They think that Wiggins will really have a shot to play, kind of like a Bateman-ish player. So yeah, another big. I think he's like another 6'5" guard. So
yeah,
guards. It'll be nice because all of our guards like this year will have size.
Yeah,
like Torre at 6'3", Bateman 6'4", I think, and then the rest are gonna be 6'5".
Yeah, a little bit bigger than we were this past year.
Yeah, and in previous years.
I think our potential for depth is a lot more. This year we kind of ran usually like an 8-man rotation, sometimes 9, but mostly 8. I think this year we could regularly run a 9.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard maybe 9-10 you
Yeah.
can get to even, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Like I think it's going to be a battle for this basketball team to see who gets minutes next year. I really think like there's going to be somebody's not going to play, and it's kind of the way it was this year. You saw with like Dom Nelson, who was supposed to be like a really like big deal coming out, or like coming to Iowa State last year. He was supposed to be like, a lot of guys thought like he could have been a starter. It's kind of what it was like off season, like he would probably start, and nobody really gave Torre a chance to start much this year.
Yeah.
And like the complete opposite happened. But Dom Nelson's still a really good player, just couldn't see minutes at Iowa State. And then you kind of saw Bateman start to ascend, and that just kind of ended his his playing time with Iowa State. But I think you can see similar stuff to that this year's one of these players probably will be pretty decent, but isn't going to get much playing time. So
yeah, absolutely.
We'll
see.
That's a good problem to have, though, too.
Yeah, and it'll be up to TJ. At the end of the day, he kind of decides who's playing what, and yeah, I'm just excited for that.
TJ has one assistant coach hired right now, Tim Buckley. Him and Tim worked together for a few years at UNLV. Tim, last year, was on Cincinnati's staff. Just a long-time assistant coach.
a ton of coaching experience.
Yep, he's coached a lot of NBA
guys.
dudes.
Yeah, a lot of NBA guys. Just great to have him on the squad.
Yep,
I think he'll bring a lot of wisdom and a lot of experience
yep.
to the coaching staff.
Sounds like they know who their next one is, and it's pretty close to being announced. It sounds like they're just maybe trying to work out some details yet, or things kind of got put on a little bit of a pause so TJ could get done with these 5 guys, get these guys committed. But it does sound like, from what people are saying, that the next assistant coach is, like, it's pretty much a done deal. They just haven't announced it yet because they're still trying to work out some details with it, I think. But it sounds like that one's going to be coming pretty quick. It sounds like pretty soon that next assistant coach will be coming out. But yeah, so I think, for now, that kind of wraps on the Iowa State stuff. Like I said, there's just a lot of things that happened with the men's team. But, I think our roster is set for next year at this point already. You had the guys like Xavier Mitchell say they're coming back. Cameron Rise says he's coming back. And, and then the other players that we had that played, significant minutes this year have announced. We only had 2 transfers. Cade Kelderman transferred, which was very surprising, but at the same time I can see why. He probably was not going to see any playing time next year at Iowa State besides, just in, garbage time. And he commits to South Dakota. That kind of surprised me. When he entered the transfer portal, I really thought he was going to go to like San Diego with J.R. Blount or UNI with Kyle Green.
Yeah.
I really did think he was going to go one of those 2 places, but didn't work out that way. But yeah, good for him if he's going to go see playing time. Like, that's what the transfer portal should be for. As guys like him that you're not going to see any playing time at Iowa State next year, but you are good enough to to go probably play at like a South Dakota, UNI, a San Diego, somewhere like that, where he can bring that experience from playing at Iowa State to one of those programs. That's how the transfer portal should be used, is like that. And so good for him. He's going to go find a home. And then just the other one that transferred, I can't think of his name right now. Mason
Williams?
Yeah, Mason Williams. He came in Iowa State, tore his ACL at like the start of like summer last year. It was almost about this time last year. Never saw the floor, got a medical red shirt, and announced that he's going to be transferring. That one does kind of suck because last year he was coming out of Eastern Michigan and he was supposed to be really good. I think having another guard this year would have helped, another scoring option, like especially in that Tennessee game. You see how poorly we were shooting and like Neal was shooting. I think a guy like that maybe helps you out a little bit. But, it's unfortunate that his time at Iowa State wasn't a memorable one. It didn't work out for him. He got injured before anybody was ever really able to see anything out of him. But I know TJ's helping him find a new home or assisting him in finding a new home.
Yeah.
So,
He'll find somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, he's not going to find any playing time at Iowa State, so he's going to move on. But yeah, I mean that's about it for Iowa State men's basketball. Before we wrap up the men's basketball thing, I do want to shout out. We did our Final Whistle podcast bracket challenge. I know that's ended now for a while, but shout out to Hayden for winning the bracket challenge. He was very surprised. He wasn't actually going to get in until the last minute, and then he decided to jump in. And so yeah, so congratulations to Hayden. He had Michigan winning. Joe, your mom had UConn winning. It was going to go one way or the other. If UConn would have won, Joe, your mom would have won.
Yeah,
which would have been really embarrassing for you.
It would have been.
But Michigan won, so Hayden got it done. Also, Joe, both of our moms finished ahead of both of us, which is really embarrassing.
That is really embarrassing.
That's really bad. That can never happen again. I promise you that will never happen again. But, yeah, my bracket had a tough break this year, man. I had Arizona and Duke in the championship game, and Arizona winning, and both, got knocked out. So it is what it is. I'm glad I didn't have Iowa State going. as far as a lot of people did. I had Iowa State losing in the Elite Eight to Michigan, which I think would have happened anyway had we beaten Tennessee. But yeah, so not a great bracket year for me, not a great bracket year for Joe. But I can tell you right now, we're never letting our moms beat us again. And maybe one of them will beat us, but not both. That can't happen.
Yeah, not both.
Yeah,
but
that cannot happen again. But yeah, shout out to Hayden. We did connect with Hayden. He has been he got his gift from the Final Whistle podcast. So
congrats to him.
yeah, congrats, and thanks to everyone that played. Thanks to everybody that got in that thing.
A lot bigger turnout than we were expecting, honestly.
Yeah, that was awesome. So, and we hope to do this. We hope to do it every year. So, and we hope it continues to get bigger every year. We would like that thing to get good sized. So, but yeah, thank you to everybody that joined in. It was a lot of fun to watch how everybody was doing in that thing throughout the tournament. So, that kind of wraps up my Iowa State men's. We'll talk a little bit about the Iowa State women's here and what the hell happened there. But first, a few words from our sponsors. Thank you to Just Toast, the toasting experts.
Best toast in the country.
Thank you to Earl's Doghouse. Good food, everything else, good free drinks.
Yeah.
At Earl's. I know Earl will love me saying that. But yeah, you just got to watch out for Earl. He will kiss you. He will sit on your lap. He will try to get you to look at his butt tumor. But just tell him no, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Just tell him no politely.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he may have some issues with you. But overall, great guy.
Yeah, he had to go to the doctor last week, get his heart looked at, but it turns out his heart's all good. So
that's good. That's great.
Yeah, that was good news from Earl. But yeah, so a little bit here with the women's thing. So like, it's been a long time since we've been on here, and since we've been on here, like complete chaos happened with that roster. I mean, everybody left, down to 5 players on that team. Biggest one highlighted by Audie Crooks, and then Addie Brown and Jada Williams, and really those are the big 3 that decide to leave. But it was just like it was crazy that this team now has been together for 3 years outside of Jada Williams. That this team started, for sure the last 2 years, it started in the top 10 and then ended the year so poorly, like losing first round in the tournament, not making it past the second weekend or the first weekend in the basketball tournament. And like, it was just like this team was stuck and they couldn't get over that hump. So something almost had to happen. Like something has to change, because like they can't just keep running it back, every year and expecting a different outcome at this point. Like this has happened 2 to 3 years now in a row. So I think, next year, if that whole team's together, I think expecting anything more out of that is foolish. But I also don't think Iowa State was expecting that big of a change of what happened. Now, you went from having them all to not having any of them, except for Ariana Jackson. She's the only one that decided to stay at Iowa State. But yeah, it was just crazy. But the thing is Iowa State also was going to lose probably a few of them, because you can't afford to pay them all.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, Iowa State this year is going to have, roughly around $1 million or so, $1 to $2 million, I think, to spend on their roster. Like that's what they're going to have to spend. And for instance, let's just take somebody like Audie Crooks. She's probably demanding, $7-8 million by herself.
Yep. Probably.
Addie Brown's probably demanding 5-6. Jada Williams probably demanding 4 or 5. So like, you can't pay all of those players. It's just physically not possible.
Yeah.
You can't do it. Maybe you can afford to keep one of them for lesser, but you weren't going to afford to keep all 3, and all 3 of them are probably going to go out and get paid that. They'll get their money. Jada Williams is already committed to LSU, so she got paid very well to go to LSU with Kim Mulkey, which was a very cringy picture that she like posted on social media of her and Kim Mulkey. Kim Mulkey was like on her back, and they're both like holding like the L
Yeah, I
sign
saw
for
that.
like LSU or whatever. That was weird. Like the things we do now, like these college kids and their coaches, especially the coaches, like do with the college kids now is just weird. Like when they commit. So yeah, I mean, Iowa State wasn't gonna be able to afford to keep them anyway. You'd have liked to keep one, but you lose all three. So I don't know. Audie hasn't committed anywhere yet. We'll see where she goes. That would really surprised me and a lot of people. And I don't think it's not surprising because like yeah, she can go somewhere else and get paid more money. She could probably go somewhere else, play for a much better women's basketball team. But the thing is like she had like a huge NIL deal with Fairway. She was very well known in Iowa. She's from Iowa, so the fact that she left just I think really surprised a lot of people, and just because of those reasons right there. Yes, we know she could probably go out and get more money somewhere else, and she will, and she'll go out and play for a better basketball team. But just the things that had her tied to Iowa State, I think, is what people are more surprised why she decided to leave. So.
Yeah, it's unfortunate what's happened with the women's program. Just kind of deconstruction. Not even deconstruction, just kind of a explosion almost.
Yeah, basically like you hit the start over button.
And, now they're going to have to do kind of similar to what the football team had to do almost. And just kind of reset and, get a dang near a whole new team. And I think they just need to come at it with a different approach. Obviously, something's not working. I don't know what it is, but something's not working. I don't know. Something needs to be looked into. Just trying a different approach, something else. But something needs changed.
Yeah, and the thing is you're in a hard place with the coach because Finley has earned the right to not be fired. But at the same time, his contract's going to expire next year, and like at the end of next year, his contract's going to expire, and Iowa State more than likely is not going to renew it. So, like the thing is like, do you really want to restart this whole program now when your coach is only going to be here one more year? And it's going to be really hard to get basketball players to come to your program because, like, basically you're going to have to try to get a bunch of one-year players.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a hard time selling a freshman or a sophomore the fact that, hey, I want you to come to Iowa State. I want you to do all this. Oh, and then, hey, next year I'm probably going to leave, so you have to learn a whole new system. And that's even if you like the new head coach that comes in. And that's really hard to do. So then people are like, well, just get rid of him. Well, the problem is he's been there 36 years, and he's the winningest coach in Iowa State women's basketball history. He's consistently getting to tournaments. Like, it's really hard to just fire a guy like that. Like, you can't really just fire him. It's kind of like the Kirk Ferentz thing with Iowa. Like, you really can't do it. And he's earned the right to retire. And like I've heard Chris Williams say, I just wish he would retire. I wish he would go out on his own, and not get fired and not have to deal with, well, he didn't get his contract renewed, any of that stuff. But I think his thing is he doesn't want to go out on a bad note. I think that's what his thing is.
Yeah, I agree.
He wants to, go out on a better note than what has happened the last 2 to 3 years with Iowa State basketball. And so I think that's going to be his goal this year, but I think it's going to be really hard. But Jamie said, they're willing to give him, the extra funds to help him man a roster. So we'll see what happens. Iowa State has two of them, two women players that have committed. Maya Babbitt from Akron, I think it is, committed. She's only like 5'8" though, so it's gonna be a little tough, like the size thing, adjusting, coming up to this level. At the Big 12 will be a little hard. And then they just got another player yesterday. I keep forgetting her name. She's from Florida, 6'1", so good size, especially for in the women's game. Center, so yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, he's got a lot of work to do yet. And I think the reason you're not seeing near as much action on that side is just because he's got to try to find a lot of one-year players. I think it's just because he's having a hard time convincing younger players to come play when he more than likely this is going to be his last year.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough position to be in, especially if you're Jamie Pollard. You're in a tough position, and you know that coach has done so much for Iowa State. It's just kind of it's almost like a lose-lose right now. I don't know. He could have a very successful year next year. You never know. Or it could be about the same. I don't know. This team this year, I feel like had so much potential. They just got riddled with injuries. No one was healthy all at the same time, other than the first few games. It was just unfortunate.
Yeah, it was. And then some weird stuff going on with the wrestling team right now. Like some random tweet came out and said that Metcalf is going to be taking over as the head coach.
Yeah,
for
Brent
Iowa
Metcalf.
State.
That's what rumors have been. I don't know 100% if that's true or not. Iowa State hasn't come out and said anything. Kevin Dresser, their head coach, came out and said that his contract goes through 2029. He's still there. I don't know if that's meaning he's there as a head coach still or he's taking a different role. I have no idea. Have also had some guys transfer out that were kind of a surprise, honestly. One of the big notables, the 141 pounder, I believe he was 149 this year. I can't remember. Anthony Echemendia. He came from Ohio State and wrestled a few years for Iowa State, and now he has 1 year left of eligibility, and he left. It's an interesting thing. I wasn't expecting him to leave, but it sounds like there's some things going on with that team. I don't know exactly what, but I'm not 100% sure. Iowa State athletics this year in general, I feel like has been very, very eventful.
Yeah, and I thought I had saw something. I'm trying to find it right now. Maybe I'm crazy too. But I thought I saw something earlier that said that Iowa State wrestling is supposed to come out with some like news tomorrow, maybe or sometime soon at Hilton Coliseum, like regarding the wrestling program. Iowa State University is supposed to come out and say something about it. But I don't know if that's true or not. But it would make sense. I feel like the university has to say something because either somebody knows something that the rest of us don't know, or one guy just went rogue and said something false. And if that's true, they should just come out and say that that's not true. That Dresser's still the head coach.
Yeah, but and it's really weird because they haven't.
Yeah, so that's what makes you think that something's going on. But I think that they should then come out and say, hey, this is what's going on, because speculation can go a lot of places.
Yeah, it can.
So.
Well, when you got guys that are transferring out that you didn't expect to transfer,
Yep.
And in wrestling, the transfer portal, it's big, but it's not as big as in other sports. It doesn't happen as often, I would say.
Also, another thing I would say too to watch out for is that there's a real chance Iowa State could be getting women's wrestling. So, like, could Dresser stepping down and going to a new role have anything to do with that? Could he be having an influence on Iowa State women's wrestling?
It could, and maybe if they do open up a women's wrestling, maybe it's Kevin Dresser moving into that role.
Yeah, maybe he's like an ambassador for both teams.
It could be. I am not 100% sure. I hope that.
That's just speculation.
Yeah, I hope that what you heard is correct. I hope that they come out with some news soon, because obviously something needs cleared up. It's just it's a little different. I don't know. It's usually the Iowa State wrestling program is very open but it seems like I don't know if something's being hidden or they're just trying to figure things out and they don't want anything being leaked, but stuff is being leaked or it's false rumors. I have no idea, but I'm interested to see what is actually going on.
Right, and I mean, if Metcalf is your coach, then you got your next guy.
Yeah.
Like you found your replacement for Dresser. Like you have your next guy. He's young. Hopefully you have him for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's the bright side of this is Iowa State's already found a new wrestling coach if that's going to be the case.
Yeah, young guy. He's been with Iowa State for a while. Was a former Iowa wrestler, and Kevin Dresser was as well, which is kind of funny. But
yeah,
Brent Metcalf was a former Iowa wrestler. I think he was a 2-time national champion or 1-time. I can't remember. Great guy, great athlete. Knows a lot. I think he'll do a lot for the program if this is true. I'm not 100% sure. And it could be flip-flopped. Who knows? Maybe Brett Metcalf is going to go be the women's coach or ambassador for that. I have no idea. Anyone's guess is as good as ours at this point. It's just kind of a wait-and-see type of thing.
Yep, I agree. And then, did you see Iowa football got slapped with a big thing?
Yes, they did.
They had to forfeit 4 wins from the 2023 season, which means Iowa State doesn't technically get credited for a win, but gets a win by, I guess, default anyway. So I think I had seen somebody say, well, more than one. There's a lot of people saying that Iowa State's beaten Iowa now the last 4 years in a row. So that's good.
That is good.
That's kind of cool. But no, I'm just kidding when I say that. But it is weird that 3 years later they NCAA comes out and says or does this, I guess. But hey, for Iowa, just don't get involved with Michigan anymore. And look what Michigan did, all right? Michigan got caught with all the cheating and everything like that. And then you go and you take one of their quarterbacks. You go talk to one of their quarterbacks early. Just stay the hell away from Michigan, all right? Look what happens when you play with a monkey, all right? Just stay the hell away from that team, from that organization, all right? I think they've learned their lesson now. They just got caught cheating, I guess you could say. Iowa did. And, moral of the story is stay away from Michigan. Don't do anything with Michigan.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised to hear about that. Because usually, if something comes out like that, it's usually stuff from the previous year, or maybe even 2, but this was a few years ago, so.
Yeah, all the way from 2023.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of weird, honestly, that this is just getting talked about now. But
well, the NCAA doesn't have anything else better to worry about.
Yeah,
we don't have a terrible transfer portal issue. We don't have players making,
we don't have NIL issues.
No NIL issues.
That, but
no transfer portal issues. Honestly, there's nothing to fix right now in college athletics. So they might as well look into the Iowa football team from 3 years ago.
And what makes no sense to me is it's not even like Iowa really won anything that year. They probably, I think they had a good season, but they didn't go to the playoffs. They didn't.
Yeah, they might have won a bowl game. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, but
they didn't win a title.
Yeah.
What's that taking those 4 wins away going to really do at the end of the day?
Yeah, I agree, and it amazes me that the NCAA can't find anything else better to work on. That just for everybody hoping that the transfer portal gets fixed or that this stuff gets fixed. That goes to show you right there how much the NCAA cares about it.
Yeah,
that's how worried they are about getting this transfer portal fixed. They are not worried about it at all.
No,
it is not at the top of their list.
You're getting in a space now where collegiate sports are just professional.
It's a professional sport. Let's call it what it is.
It is.
It's a professional sport. These are no longer students. They are employees.
Yes.
Well, let's make them employees. Let's sign contracts, and let's move on. This you can transfer every year, 5 years, whatever. Cannot keep happening.
No.
They could not
You should
keep
not be
happening.
able to move a school every single year.
And even the big coaches are starting to say it now, which is helping. Like John Calipari at Arkansas is even starting to say the same thing, that this is not sustainable.
No.
We cannot keep doing this in college basketball as a whole. This cannot keep happening. But yeah, right now it looks like it's going to keep happening. I know Trump's going to try to do something with it. He's going to try to sign an executive order, which will get sued the shit out of the minute he signs it by all these agents and everything else. So just like nothing's going to happen unless like it comes from, Congress.
Yeah.
And it becomes a law. And a law you have to abide by. That's the only way that this thing is going to get handled, that's going to get fixed. The executive order, sure, it at least gets people talking about it. At least the right people are getting the attention of the right people anyway. Like it's starting to get to DC, these problems, but an executive order isn't really going to do much. It's going to get sued. It's going to be in court forever. Like it's not going to be good. So it's got to become a law at some point. They got to put rules on this thing because right now it's just a wild west with the transfer portal and what these guys can get paid and everything. So
yeah, it's insane. I mean, in my opinion, back in high school we had a paper that we had to write about whether college athletes should get paid or not.
did you and Xavier Watts write this together?
No. And there was the prompt I wrote about was DeAndre Ayton. When he was at Arizona, there was a lot of rumors, and I don't even know if it was rumors. I think it was confirmed. He was given, I don't know if it was necessarily money, but he was given incentives to go to Arizona and to play there. And in my opinion, I believe college athletes should get paid. However, I don't think it's these mass amounts of money that they're getting now. I don't think they need to be making
$500K.
Yeah, I don't think they need to be making that. I don't think they need to be making millions.
Yeah.
I think maybe at the very most, like maybe $100K a year.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to get paid.
And you're getting
ton of money.
and you're getting a scholarship.
You're getting
Scholarships don't even matter anymore.
You're getting a scholarship. You're getting paid. I don't think you should be getting paid.
Like
millions as a college athlete, especially if you're good enough to go to the professional leagues where you're going to be making that amount of money anyways.
Yeah.
Even more. I just think it's insane. I don't think they should be making that much. I think they should get compensated, obviously. I mean, they're great. They do a lot of stuff on top of being a student, but I don't think, like I said, it should be that amount of money.
Right. I believe they should get paid something.
Yes.
That should be a thing. Or really, NIL's not the deal here, okay? Or NIL's not the problem here. NIL is name, image, likeness. So basically what NIL says is, okay, you're Audi Crooks. You are the biggest brand that Iowa State has. You're what brings fans to the games.
Yes.
Is that a true statement?
Yes.
I think that is. There's a lot of people that come to watch Audi Crooks play.
Yes.
So therefore, should Audi Crooks be compensated for that? Or
Yes.
should she get something for doing that? Yes, I believe that. I think 80% of people believe in that. That that if you are the name brand person at that school, you're the reason that fans are coming, or a big reason why fans are coming, that you should be able to get compensated for that. I think most people can agree on that. Problem is, that's not what we're dealing with right now. This is not NIL. NIL is, Audi Crooks getting the Fairway deal.
Yeah.
Because she is a big face. What's
She's
not
getting
NIL,
sponsored by it.
what's not NIL is random donors and fans giving a player $5 million to come play at a school just to get him to come.
Yeah.
That's not name, image, and
No.
likeness. There is no name or image. You haven't even seen him play yet. he could be terrible.
Yeah, and we've seen instances where that
Yes.
players get paid $5-6 million and they do jack all for that program.
And that is not NIL. NIL
No.
is not that. NIL is to pay the players that are the top in your school for helping your school. That is what the purpose of this is. This is not NIL we're dealing with. So when people say NIL ruined college sports, that is not a true
no,
statement.
it is not that.
This is not NIL anymore. People are doing over the top NIL. People are doing just giving money at will just to get these 5-star players to come play. It is not NIL. It's free agency is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And then they go there, they go for a year, and then they go to another team that offers them even more the next year.
Exactly. That's
And
not
it's-
NIL.
That is what is ruining.
You know what the
college
thing
sports
is
right
we don't have any players that stay at a school long enough now to get NIL.
now. Yeah,
Because
They don't.
because if you have a really good player, he's going to leave next year before you can even get an NIL deal done with him to get fans to come back next year.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane. I think like it went from people not wanting to pay them to okay, let's pay them millions of dollars.
Well, yeah, the floodgates just open. And anytime you put a cap on how much money you can pay a player, some team figures out a way to go around it. They
Yeah,
figure out a way to
it
cheat the
does.
system. So,
It
like,
does.
I don't know if that's ever going to be able to be fixed. Ever. Because, like, they're going to find a way around it. We all had this cap, like, 3 years ago, like, 250,000 or whatever is all the max you were able to spend. And, like, that thing made it, like, 2 hours.
yeah, it
And
wasn't
some
great.
team had figured out a way to get around it through the bylaws or whatever. Like, I think you could tell everybody, all right, you can only spend $3 million on your football roster next year. You know for a goddamn fact there's going to be teams out there that spend $5-6 million. They're going to figure out a way to get around it. They're going to do over the top NIL. They're going to go talk to their buddy Frank down at the car dealership and say, hey, we really need this point guard from Kentucky next year to come play here. Why? Well, just because he's a 5-star and he's really good. How much money can you give him? That's not NIL. That is free agency. That is going around harassing your fans for money to pay that player. That's what that is.
Exactly.
NIL has nothing to do with asking fans to pay for players.
No.
So-
it's kind of a damning time. Is it all the way gone from being able to be fixed? I don't think so. I just think,
Well, we better get going fast.
yeah, it's trending in a downward direction. Something needs to happen, but
And like the problem is like John Calipari was saying, he made a really good point that I liked, is that these players, all right, so like what people don't understand is when they say that we're ruining these kids' lives, and people are like, well, you're giving them millions of dollars. How are you ruining their lives? They should be set for life. They should be, right? Absolutely, they should be. You go 4 years, you get paid $5 million for 4 years every year. Yeah, you should have it made. You should be just fine. The problem is that they don't spend it the right way, or they don't invest it the right way. You know, they're irresponsible with that money. Okay? They've transferred 5 times to 5 different schools. They don't hold a degree at any of those schools. They don't have a college degree when they get done with college. All right? They don't go to the NBA. Let's, theoretically say they don't go to the NBA. It doesn't even have to be a $5 million player. Let's say it was a $1 million player. Okay? So they have $4 million, $5 million when they're done playing. All right? Don't go to the NBA, have transferred 5 times, has no college degree. Okay? They go to find a job. They go find a job and their boss is like, hey, we're going to pay you, $50,000 a year. Let's just say that. $50,000, $55,000 a year. Well, that kid's going to be like, well, do I get a car with it? Do I have to show up to work?
yeah.
Like, I was getting paid $1 million to play basketball in college for 5 years, and now you want to pay me $50,000 to come to work every day? Like, that's the problem here, is that's what we're doing to the society, is we're giving these kids all this money, and then they're going to have to go out into the real world.
Yeah, they're given all this money, but no resources on what to do with that money.
Like, if they invest it, they'd be smart.
Yes, and Also, yeah, that and teaching them not to. They don't need to go buy, $100,000 cars and.
Yeah, but you know damn well they are.
Oh yes, and I mean, if you were a high schooler and you go into a college program and they hand you $1,000,000,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
your first reaction is going to buy a bunch of stuff.
And you've seen that from like rookies in the NBA. Like listen
Yeah.
to Shaq about his first paycheck, his rookie paycheck in the NBA.
Yeah, he went and bought three cars, one for him, one for his mom. One
Yeah,
for
what
his
was his
dad.
first paycheck? It was like
It was $1,000,000.
yeah, he spent it all in one
He
day.
spent it all in one day, and he didn't even know he did it until
Yeah.
his
agent told him he had to
agent
like pay
called him
taxes
and said,
or
"Hey,
something.
you have no more money."
Yeah, and he was supposed to pay like
And that was for, I believe it was like a 4-year deal or something for $1,000,000.
yeah.
And from then on, he invested his money. He was smart with it. Now look at him. He's in pretty much every industry you could think of. He's in it somehow. And I think I saw something. It was like 30 or 40% of professional athletes go broke within the first 5 years after retiring.
Yeah, and so these aren't professional athletes that we're doing
No.
now. Now we're doing college kids.
Exactly. So you're taking somebody who's made probably 30 million throughout their 10 years playing professionally, let's say, lowballing it, versus someone who's made, let's say, 5 million in their 4 years of playing.
Yeah.
What's if that adult's going to go broke, what do you think the college kid is going to do?
Yeah, and so that was 20 or 30%. Like we've at least probably bumped that up another 10% now
Yeah.
with college basketball
Exactly.
getting involved in this. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could sit here all night and talk about things I need to fix in the NCAA and with the rules. But I think Joe and I are just going to go find some team from 2023 and see if they violated any rules in football. We'll go dig up some stuff. See if
Yeah,
we
we'll
can
go
find
dig
some
up
of
some
that.
dirt, see if there's anything that needs fixed there.
Yeah, we'll let the NCAA know about it, and they will get on that right away.
Yeah, maybe they'll go back to like a 2019 team. Who knows?
Yeah, yep,
But I think that's all for this episode.
yeah.
A little bit wasn't expecting us to go this long, but we had some good talks, and hopefully you guys learned some stuff and enjoyed listening. I know it's been a while. Like I said, we've been busy. Lots of stuff. We do have a camera now. This will probably be our last audio podcast. We hope to do video. I gotta just make sure I can get everything working properly and all that. But I'm excited, and I think that this could be the start of something new. Who knows? We're going to be video soon. Hopefully get some more social media pages up and start growing this thing a little bit more. And hopefully all of you guys keep supporting us. And we appreciate it. And like always, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Just Toast, best toast in the country. The Toasting Experts. Also Earl's Doghouse. Good beer, great fun. Just watch out for Earl. Anything else you have to say, Nate?
Nope. We're still trying to figure out kind of where we're going to go with this in the off season, but I think we're going to find stuff to do. Kind of keep your eyes and ears out for some spring football stuff. And in the next coming weeks, I actually have this that I'm just seeing. This was just posted. This is out of Ames, Iowa. Something major is about to happen with Iowa State's wrestling program. In fact, it's more than one thing. The school sent this out on social media. Iowa State will be holding a press conference with major announcements regarding Cyclone Wrestling on Thursday, April 16th at 10 a.m. from Hilton Coliseum. So, Thursday at 10 a.m., which that's tomorrow already. So, most of you will probably be hearing this by the time that happens.
Yeah.
Or most of you will have heard by the time you hear this podcast what happens. But, yeah. So we will get some answers, hopefully, with the Iowa State wrestling program. But yeah, just be on the lookout for some spring football stuff, throughout the spring. Maybe talk a little NFL draft after the draft gets over.
Absolutely.
That's coming up, and hopefully some NBA draft stuff. Hopefully we have a few players to talk about there. So yeah, but that's all I got.
Yep. Thank you everybody for listening. Stay tuned for next episode. Hopefully we can start getting back on a consistent schedule now. But thank you everybody. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Spotify, YouTube, you know where to find us. And we'll talk to you guys next time.